Oh, hello there. Welcome to Trash to Piece Theater, or Inside the Trashter Studio. I juggled a couple of things. I'm not sure what works. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
But
because I
hi.
think if like actors and trash together would be like tractors.
I
So
thought, yeah, I was like, is anybody going to get that? But we've got a
People are
smart
going to be
audience.
surprised I could talk.
They're going to be like, wait, what?
She has a voice.
She does indeed. Hi, everybody. I'm Kyle Stephen Porter, and I am here joined with Michael Lyons, Carrie Childers, and Randy Stern, the
Hello,
three
everyone.
illustrious stars of Trash. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
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 Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time and chatting with me.
Thank you
Kyle,
for
thank you for
talking
Thank you
to
doing
for
us.
this.
having us.
Yeah.
So we are here to discuss a nifty little film called Trash, which the three of you are a bit intimately aware with, more so than others, because you starred in it. Somehow, like I specifically remember filming my little bit part in this, and it felt like it was more recent than
Oh,
10 years
really?
ago.
Yeah, I
But
know. It
somehow it was
does.
10 years ago.
I can't
Yeah.
believe it's 10 years already. Wow.
Like that's just insane. And the fact that the three of you essentially are still working on projects together is cool, and we will touch on that in a little bit. But I wanted just to start with getting some background on where the idea for Trash was kind of born, and how we wound up with the finished product.
Well, okay. So I would say it initially started with uh, a fascination of John Waters films. I know Carrie and I were like really getting into watching them a lot,
Yeah.
and I felt very inspired by them. And I think we sort of had finished sometime before doing like a more serious, like dramatic thriller sort of film.
Hmm.
And I was feeling like I just wanted to do something completely opposite. And we had done a comedy before when we did Thursday night, but I wanted to do just something really off the wall that really pushed the boundaries. And so I said, let me do my best John Waters and let's see what I can come up with. And I just sat down and started writing, and I just came up with the scenario of I think it was originally they wanted to be like in a rock band or something like that. It changed later on in terms of what they were doing exactly, but just three people that wanted to be in this band, and they're going to do anything they could possibly do to get it done. And that was sort of the platform for crazy situations that could come up. What will they do to get what they want? And I think that's where it started.
Hmm.
Okay. Was the script a collaborative effort? Like, was everybody kind of pitching in with, I think this idea might really work for my character, or let's try to get in a scene with a fish?
For the most part, Mike does the writing. I think other things will come up during filming that will be like, or even like when we're reading it, and we'll be like, we should put this in, or we should do that in, or we'll just ad lib. But Mike definitely does the bulk of the thinking.
Yeah, I usually I'll write something and not share what I'm doing. And then as I'm writing, I might sometimes talk to Carrie. It depends on the project, but I might throw some things at Carrie and ask her what she thinks. But pretty much what Carrie said in terms of this work. After I think it's also important that after I write something, whoever's playing the part could say, I'm gonna do it this way, or I'm gonna change this word a little bit. Is that fine? And then like that kind of stuff takes place. But
so,
yeah, this
so
was
you're not
yeah.
running a Ryan Murphy-esque monopoly where it's his way or the highway. I'm just kidding. I don't
No.
actually know that about Ryan Murphy.
I do wonder.
Was
No. Ryan Murphy's insane. They're all trapped. I'm concerned for all of them. I think there's something devious going on there.
Poor
There might
Sarah
be.
Paulson.
Yeah,
I-
she doesn't get to go anywhere.
No.
Was there a particular John Waters film that served as like kind of the bulk of your inspiration, or were you just kind of like aiming for more of a vibe?
I think a vibe, but I will
Okay.
have to I have to say probably that the particularly the manners of like speech and acting that we did, I think is very Pink Flamingos.
Definitely.
But I love Francine Fishpaw. And that was really like the inspiration for the mother character in the film.
Yes.
I just always thought of I can't even think of what the film's name is right now, so I'm horrible.
Polyester.
Thank you, from Polyester. So I just definitely I feel like there's a little Polyester vibes and Pink Flamingo vibes. Yeah.
I
Okay.
think there is Female Trouble has like a lot about delinquent girls, and like it starts off in a school. So I feel like we have a lot of Female Trouble-esque vibes in this, because it's definitely very much Dawn Davenport. Like
I
Dawn
agree.
Davenport as a meatball sandwich right out in class. That doesn't have anything to do with anything, but as soon as I hear Dawn Davenport, I have to say that line.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So watching the film, I certainly got that the type of humor would harken a little to John Waters, but in this day and age, especially with social media being as rampant as it is, what would you say to people who might see this as off color or dated or offensive? Was that kind of in mind as you were filming?
Not as much as it would be now.
Yeah.
Because now, obviously, people, it's not that it wasn't offensive or off color back then. It's that that was kind of more what people were putting out in media at the time. People were being more off color than they were now. People are definitely more aware that it's not only like hetero cis white people that are in the world, and that other things are offensive if you put in certain like stereotypes or stuff like that. But I think we kind of were leaning into that because we were doing the like pushing kind of, if you watch John Waters, anyone that has, it's just a lot of stuff that no one else would be able to get away with, and I think we were kind of leaning into that. Yeah.
I think I agree totally. I did write things that were, how offensive can I get? I even remember just in terms of there's a line about the abortion, and there were audible groans when
Yeah.
we premiered it. And I even remember we were speaking to one of the extras at one point on a night when we were filming. I don't know if you remember this, Carrie, but Carrie made some comment about an abortion, and the extra was like, "Oh, got very, very serious. We're all in this film like where there's just like insane things happening." I think it was like the night we're filming, we're like drugging children, and this person's like, "I don't joke about abortions," and
I
Carrie
remember that.
Carrie deadpans like, "Well, you better not watch this thing." Like,
I don't think that woman spoke to me ever again after that. I think she was a friend of my sister's.
I will say, I watched back Kyle as I was like, okay, we're gonna re-release this. There were two things I removed from the film that we are going to premiere on the 25th, that I edited out. And I was speaking to Carrie about it, and I really said to myself, if 10 years later, as I look at the film, I'd like to think that the things that you should be laughing at is the stupidity, the audacity of these characters. if you're not laughing at their shortcomings, you know, based on the insane things they say or do, if you're not laughing at them and you're laughing at someone else, then it's not okay to me anymore to do that. So there were two things that I did snip out of the film that I didn't feel added anything to it. And they were distractor jokes, so they were cut.
Okay. So they are out of the cut that I watched recently.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's very, I don't want to say noble, but I appreciate that you were able to kind of take a more critical look at it, because I know oftentimes a lot of people are married to the work that they create and put out, and will lean into things like artistic integrity being the reason they may hold on to something that others might not look at so positively.
Yeah, I don't feel like I don't feel like integrity went into this from the get-go. So I wasn't married to anything. And
So the three of you as a unit, were all of you involved with essentially how early in your kind of working together is Trash? What were your takeaways from Trash that didn't cause you to pull a Randy's sister's friend and go, I'm never speaking to these people ever again?
I would get random texts, and like this was back when we had like AIM. So I would get instant messages being like, would you be comfortable doing this? What would you think about doing this? Would you ever say this? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I knew he was doing something, and he would give me like bits and pieces, and like we knew we wanted something funny. We had like a bunch of random ideas for other things. Like we wanted to do like a film noir thing, and we always have a horror movie in the back of our minds. But we also definitely knew we wanted to work with Randy because she was there in Thursday night, the previous comedy we did. And she's just like, other than being very fun to work with, she's always like good, and she's on time, and she's just like a wonderful person to work with. So we were immediately like, we need a third. And then we're just like, Randy, let's see if Randy's there.
Yeah, I met them I used to do the Rocky Horror Picture Show for the Home of Happiness that used to be in Montclair. And I got to know them, like become like very good friends with Mike and Carrie. And they reached out to me to do their first film Thursday night if I wanted to play a couple extra roles in it. And you know what? Ever since then, it's been pretty much, how would you describe it? History, like awesome history. Like I love working with them. They know that whatever, I'll pretty much do anything they tell me to do on camera. I mean, they want me to fall off a stool, I fall off a stool. They want me to punch someone, I'll punch someone.
Yeah.
Like I love acting, and especially it's a lot more fun for me, especially when I'm involved with my friends doing it. And I love it, and I've had a blast. And since then, I've worked on numerous projects with them, and I hope to continue to work more.
Awesome. I mean, Randy, I got the full sense of your acting range in this role as Bluebell. Like, did you have any particular kind of exercises that you did to memorize all the lines that you had, or
Not really. I wouldn't say exercises. They basically just told me, you got no lines. And basically they're like, you know what, make weird noises, use your eyes, use your mannerisms. It's really the only thing that I was able to do to make the role of Bluebell. I will say this though, it definitely was not easy. Whoever says acting in a movie or a show and not have any lines, it's actually a lot harder. Like I prefer to have lines, because when you have to make the role yours just by the way you are, like even now, like I'd have to make this, if I had no voice, whatever, I would just have to just stay there and just make it by like the way I look and the way I use my hands and everything. Like it's very hard. Believe it or not, I discovered, I'm like, I thought this role was going to be easy peasy, nice and breezy. Oh, no.
For
But
sure. I think a lot of people probably underestimate something that could be seen as like a bit part,
mhm,
or playing an extra role, but it's not an extra role. Like,
no,
she features in the entire film and she doesn't have any lines. And so to kind of inhabit that character in a way that's authentic to the piece and the character without it seeming like, oh, this person's just playing like this, like, I don't know, I feel like, at least for me, when I'm watching a piece of media, you can tell when someone is acting, and
yeah,
then you can tell when they're telling you a story. And
yeah.
so
Like you want to try and make it look as natural as possible. And if you have no experience with that, it's like it can be very, very difficult. Like I was just like the whole time, like, oh my God, I'm like, I'm hoping I'm making this look natural. I'm hoping I'm making this look like I am my character. I hope it came across like that to everybody who saw the movie. But it was, I have to say though, it was fun though. It
yeah,
was, I had a blast.
no, Bluebell strikes me as very sincere.
Yeah.
I I think the two things that I'm thinking as you're saying this is, first, shit, no lines. I think she's the most lovable character in the whole
Yeah.
entire thing, basically.
Might be because she has no line.
Right, right.
Well, I think a lot
Um,
of people did say that I was their favorite character in the film.
Mhm.
Like they said that even though I had no lines, like they're like, you were hysterical, and they're like, they actually, I think they felt bad for me.
yeah,
You
but
definitely
also,
stole the scene quite often
yeah,
with just like mannerisms and stuff, because it would be
yes.
very easy to just sit there and be basically like a prop,
Yeah.
as like a human prop, but
Mhm.
it just went insane.
And it's not distracting, right? So like,
Right.
Mhm.
she could like have been really slapstick about it and been, pulling away from what's going on. So like, you could always just sit there and sort of watch Randy the entire time if you wanted to, but she also blends into the scene very nicely as well. So she wasn't going over the top and, trying to, grab her spotlight in every moment. So it was really natural. And, you know, it takes some sort of balance or thought to be able to do something like that, I think.
I think that's a testament to your acting capabilities, Randy, and your
Thank you.
chameleon like qualities. Chameleon.
Yeah.
Thank
um,
you.
yeah, of course. So, how the film was, I guess, kind of completed 10 years ago, how long was the process of actually creating it from start to finish? Like, idea, writing, inception to execution?
It was about a year and a half of time. So I wrote mostly in like late winter and spring of whatever year, and we filmed during that summer, and then depending on how things go while we're filming, we can usually turn something out within a couple months. So like that, a lot of things premiere. We film a lot of things during the summer, and we premiere a lot of things during like November. Um, so usually we could have a quick turnaround time. The editing was taking longer, and there was more aspects to the film, such as the music. And then also we had a whoopsie, and we lost some of the footage.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, as you would
So
know, because you had to come and refilm your part
right.
about a year later.
Yeah.
So the next summer we refilmed, and then we released it the November, after that. So in total, it was about a year and a half.
Okay. And then the kind of post-production process, you've finally finished it. Uh, what what were your hopes and dreams for the film? And then what would you say happened with them?
Yeah, I think so. Initially, so in previous films, we would uh, I would bounce back and forth between me and Tom Roskop, a person that we have worked with in the past, um, and I would usually do like a rough edit to give him an idea of what I want it to look like. I would pass it on to him. He would try to fine tune, and it would go back to me, and I would put the icing on the cake, so to speak. and then our goals were always just to premiere, and then we used to burn our films onto DVDs and make, you know, interesting covers and print them out. Everything was done by, you know, from my bedroom, you know, like just you know, two of us together doing this. And then we would either give out copies to people if they came to the premiere, or we'd like sell them for like $10 or something like that. This was the first film that we said, you know, we were going to submit to film festivals. We thought it was close enough to maybe we could get it into some like little things, you know, nothing crazy or big.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we premiered it, but never, you know, printed or sold it like we wanted to. So it was our first film that we actually really attempted to get out there. Yeah, it's actually the film that's probably been seen the least. So you know, it's interesting. I don't know how to feel about that, actually.
Yeah.
I was watching it and I was like, I don't think I've ever seen this complete film, because the ending kind of took me by surprise. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's only been seen once. 10 years ago, it was seen by a room
Sundance, Toronto Film.
Yes, yes, of course.
Well,
Booton Theater.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sound went bad, the picture went bad during the middle of the premiere. There was like lines running up to
the sound
my
was bad
God.
throughout the entire thing, so it was really
I was
frustrating,
ready.
especially because it was the only time we could do it. And then just the sound, there was like an annoying hum in the background, like of static or something the entire time, and we were like, good, we worked 2 years for this.
This is what we were hoping for.
Yeah, it was devastating, because you work, so we were working on that like up to the last minute, and Kerry was there a lot during the final editing because a lot of it had to do with the music, and so she saw it there. But we went into that premiere. I had 105-degree fever at the premiere. I was sick. I made myself sick, and then nothing was working. And it was, but I will say, you know, at the end when it was time to pay the guy, I had never seen anything like this ever, and it really was great. But Tom walked right up to the guy, and the guy clearly knew that he had really ruined everything. And Tom basically, I don't know how much money we were supposed to give the guy, but Tom was like, I'm giving you half. And the guy was like, and the guy went, yes. And he just gave him half, and then we used the rest to buy equipment that we desperately needed. So it worked out, but what an experience.
You know what's funny? I went to that theater a couple of years later. I don't know if the same people still own it, but my boyfriend was playing a show there, and I was backstage kind of like, I hope they don't remember me. I hope they don't remember me.
I mean, that sounds like certainly a noteworthy experience, and something that offered a lot of kind of do's and don'ts for future projects.
Yeah.
Backpedaling a little, because you said Kerry was very involved with the music. Talk to me about your songwriting and recording process. I take it the vocals we hear in the film were all yours. No ADR or having any substitutes.
No, a lot of it was Mike and Tom doing stuff on GarageBand. I think like Mike and I would write the songs together, and it would mostly just be us in the car thinking like, we should do something like this, and just like, you know, those weird thoughts that come to you at like 3 a.m, and you're just like, this is a great idea, this is hilarious. That's pretty much what all the songs were. Just that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really do think everything was written in a car and at the Cloverleaf Tavern.
Yes.
Do they get special mention in the credits?
No, they don't. No.
They do.
No, because we gave them so much money while we were doing this, because we would just keep drinking and eating.
So that was thanks enough for them.
I finished 2 beer programs.
So, I mean, I know you said that John Waters is inspiration kind of tonally for the film. music wise, was there a particular inspiration? Because I will say that the songs kind of remind me of a couple of artists, but I want to see if there was a particular source of inspiration for that.
I think
I
around
don't.
that time where we listen, I don't remember what we were even listening to at the time. We were listening to like electro pop stuff. I remember being really into LaRue, who did the Bulletproof song,
Hmm.
and we weren't trying to do anything that was good because we wanted them to be kind of shitty. Am I allowed to say shitty?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was allowed to curse. I forgot to ask.
Yeah. Do it. Whatever.
But we weren't trying to make like passable, decent songs. I think most of them turned out decent, but we were just kind of trying to be funny and people that should not win any sort of singing competition or like songwriting competition. So we were trying to do things that were like electro poppy, but we didn't really have any songwriting experience. I don't know if you guys did, but I definitely didn't know anything.
I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. Tom played piano very well. Yeah, we used no piano. And the only thing I did not have anything in mind. I know like Kesha was also very popular at the time. So there's sort
Yeah.
of this like dirty, down and dirty sort of lyrics and stuff like that, partying songs. But I think that was Carrie brought up a good point, which was, we wanted it to like not be great, but also one thing that I had, a lesson that I had learned, or a takeaway that I feel from the previous film was, I had said we had done like this serious thriller beforehand, and reflecting on it, I felt like I took it too seriously. And when you take something too seriously, and you are not of the top-notch quality when it comes to production, you don't come off looking good. And so I think the one thing that I really embraced was like, let's be shitty. Like, let's make, like, we don't know what we're doing. I don't know how to write a song. I know absolutely I can rhyme some words together. We can do stuff like that. But let's just make some bad songs and see what happens. And it doesn't matter if they're bad, because these are supposed to be really bad people anyway. So it worked out.
It was very important to us that they rhymed properly, though.
Yeah.
Like if there was any takeaway from that, it needs to rhyme.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna say eighth grader, which was not the right age at all in high school. Like around junior and senior year, there were a couple of like electro was big for me back then, and electro pop. So there was this band, a girl duo named Avenue D, who their first song that I was introduced to them by was called "Do I Look Like a Slut." And they've got other songs like 2D 2F, which is too drunk to fuck. It's like it's very much in the vein of the music of trash. And so 17, 18-year-old me was like very, very moved by the music production produced by the film.
I have to go listen to that as soon as we're done.
I kid you not, it's like actually they're bops. Like they slap, or whatever the kids are saying nowadays.
Yeah.
There's also Peaches, who's
ages,
who some of the songs and lyrics reminded me of as well. So you're downplaying the quality of the music, but I think there's an audience for it.
There might be, yeah.
Well,
Maybe we should make an album.
Well, we have a SoundCloud that I just released for the Trash album. It's called "Welcome to the Trash Can," and we'll make that link available for everyone that wants to listen.
Were there other songs that didn't make the cut?
No,
I think we just used everything. Yeah.
No, we had to. This is bare bones. So what you saw is what the only thing I'll say that was written extra. So I wrote "F Me on the DF," at last. And I wanted something. Originally, it was supposed to be for, I was sort of thinking of promotion, and we were gonna like do a music video or something. It
Oh
didn't.
yeah, we practiced like twice, and
It
I
just
hate
did not
dancing so
happen.
much. It did
We
not.
could
I
not.
was so angry
Yeah,
the whole time we practiced dancing.
yeah, we were not dancing. Okay, so
No.
who thought we were gonna do that?
I
It
don't
was
know. The
me,
choreographer we told them to do something simple, and she had us like do like a forward roll at one
Like
point,
a
and I was like, I hate
Fosse.
everything you.
it, it
Please do not make me.
yeah, it was monstrous. It was a bad experience, and so what I did was I just took the song and I put it at the end of the film.
So all that hard work went nowhere.
Yes, and it's my
Well,
favorite song.
we put it. No, we didn't put it in the. I was confusing that one with the song we have at the end of the film before the credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't say the Z word.
So I mean, I was going to ask, I was like, if you had to envision where your characters are today, 10 years after the filming of Crash, where would they be? But I suppose if we're not saying the Z word, this might be difficult to answer.
Yeah, because I don't know if I want to give away the ending.
Right. Well, it assuming the happenings of the last 20 or so minutes did not happen.
Okay.
Where do you see the three of them kind of existing in 2020?
What do you think for your person, Mike?
Rudy would have a very scandalous OnlyFans right now. He would, but not be quarantining at all because he just doesn't care. And he would just still be sleeping around, getting in lots of trouble, being super dirty.
I think Topaz would either be in like her 4th or 5th stint in rehab. She would probably be, I want to say maybe she would end up like one of those kind of trophy wives that some men get for their like second wife, and she just uses him for his money and has a pill problem and does a lot of cocaine. But she would most likely, more realistically, be stuck in a trailer with some guy that provides her with meth.
Very resourceful of her.
Yeah.
I think Bluebell would probably be the first female president of the United States, actually.
It's possible.
At the rate that everything is going, I don't doubt.
Yeah, with the way 2020 has been, she might have won the election for 2020. Sorry, Biden.
Yeah.
Happened.
You all pulled double duty in this film as well, playing were they Swedish? German.
They just had, I don't know if they had, some made up country pretty much. It was not a good accent.
Oh, they're from the country of Virginia, and and sadly we had to fire our vocal coach right before, so the accents are a little weird.
No, they're Virginian.
Yeah.
What did you approach playing a doppelganger any differently, or
we did not
this is another thing?
We did not mean to play doppelgangers. Actually, we really wanted to get 3 other people to do this, and we were trying to convince Mike's roommate at the time to be the lead guy because he was like this very tall, thin, blonde guy, so it was like the perfect kind of look. And then we wanted like 2 other people, and we just had so many hopes and dreams that didn't end up happening. So then we were just like, we'll just play it. We'll just do it. And we'll try to look a little different.
Yeah.
But
there was a 4th person written in the script. I still don't know if there's copies of the script anywhere, but I left it in. I never changed it. We just, as we were filming, we're like, well, we don't have this person, so we just X'd it out. But it was supposed to be, I don't even remember their names. Ansel, Olga, Gingerbread, and Juan.
Yes.
That's
I
right,
thought that was
Juan.
really funny. And
Yeah, a white
when
supremacist group that had like
yes,
A
a
non-white
Mexican
member.
guy in it.
yes,
Yeah.
and I had a line in there because they call them trash. You know, that's how they get their name. These Virginians are like, "You're trash,"
Mhm.
and then they all yell trash at them, and then Juan yells basura, and I just thought that was really funny, and I
Yeah.
had
That
to
is
cut it
funny.
out. Yeah,
I
had to
was
cut it
sad that
out.
we could not do that. Yeah.
Oh,
That's pretty funny.
very sad. Yeah.
Um, what might people who see trash and they're like, you know what? There's something here. I want to see more of what these folks have put together. What what do you feel good about recommending them to watch of what you've done, and what might we have to look forward to in the future?
Ooh.
I would point them towards pretty much everything. Nothing is ever going to be as like weirdly out there. I think the web series we did when we finished, I want to say recently, but it was like 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Feels
Called
like it was
Forever Hold Your
recently.
Peace. Yeah, Forever Hold Your Peace was funny, and it has a lot of the same like weird situational humor that Trash had. And our first comedy Thursday night is definitely a good one to look at. I don't know if that's anywhere on the internet, but if we could find that, that'd be good.
I think I still have a
Um,
DVD copy of it, actually.
I think I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, there's I think we made like 100 copies of that. Those are out floating out in the world somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, Forever Hold Your Peace is probably what would be accessible for people to watch. That's on
Yeah.
YouTube right now.
I mean, Forever Hold Your Peace, I am a fan of, and I have to give my due to Randy, who is, for lack of a better term, fucking hilarious in it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'd say I feel like Randy on Forever Hold Your Peace is kind of a combination of Rudy and Topaz and Bluebell.
Yeah.
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 Is
Yeah,
that
Just-
fair
I
to
feel the
say?
same way.
Just nicer and toned down. Yeah.
Yeah, if they had a conscience.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yes,
A conscience and
For
a love
sure.
child.
Mhm. I don't know why we decided like we're gonna make Randy, who is like a very smart, nice person. We're just gonna make her kind of stupid and slutty, and that's what we're gonna give her.
I mean,
Just still call her Randy.
I'd say there's nothing wrong with some sex positivity, and
True.
personally, I, not to toot my own horn, but I do believe I'm pretty smart, but there is something hilarious about dumbness done right. And
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like you play that very well in a way that's
Thank
not
you.
like making fun of anybody. Like,
Yeah, because there are certain things that you'll peek into it and it's like she's actually very smart and very successful. It's just there's common sense thing that she's like, oh, I didn't know that you had to put the lid on this and then I'm gonna blow the blender up or something like that. We never did
Isn't that
but
most smart people out there that way?
yeah, that's true. That's
I mean, I feel like it takes a smart person to be able to play dumb right. So
true. Mhm.
Thank you.
yeah,
I like to think that I'm smart sometimes. I think in real life, my character, I can definitely play both sides of the fence.
it's
Depending on the
also
day.
a great quality to have as an actor.
Yes.
So
Though I
any
would like to dabble
directors
in a little
watching,
bit more seriousness stuff sometimes to see if I can pull it off.
you hear that, Michael?
yes.
Oh,
Heard loud and
I'm
clear.
on his butt about it all the time. I'm like, Michael, I want to do horror movie. Michael, I want to do something more serious to see if I have what it takes.
Michael, where's my monster script where I can
Yes.
just transform myself and win an Oscar?
Yeah, I have a lot of people asking me for a lot of things. It's really difficult to keep up with. I'm doing my best, everyone.
So are the three of you working on anything now, even if it's not together? Are the three of you working on anything now that you're excited to have see the light of day, or for people to kind of keep up with you with?
Randy's actively doing something right now, so I think
Mhm.
Randy should absolutely talk about that first.
I actually just recently did a Rocky Horror Picture Show project where due to the quarantine and everything, obviously with the social distancing and just staying away from people, I actually went to by my friend and we filmed in front of a film green screen, and we each did every part in Rocky Horror separately, the entire film by ourselves. And I don't really know how it's going to work out because this is still a secret project to me, but we're going to find out. It's going to be premiering. I believe the first one is November 27th, the 28th, and the 29th. There'll be several showings. I think they're trying to start like a new thing with like Rocky Horror and quarantine because a lot of people are afraid to work together due to the pandemic. So we're going to see how well it worked out in terms of like the editing and everything. But I'm excited to see what the finishing product is for that, especially since I played Janet this time. I've never played Janet in my life.
Janet.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds very exciting.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, especially since like you're literally in front of a green screen by yourself performing the entire movie. Where I used to do Rocky Horror and I was Magenta, you're in front of a movie screen, you have people around you, so doing it by yourself, this was like a completely different transition than what I was used to. They said I did a great job, but I guess we'll find out on November 27th.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
I myself am doing nothing. I keep like kicking around the idea of like, oh, maybe I should do something on Twitch or like do something on YouTube, learn how to friggin' edit so I can actually do something on YouTube. But I just don't have a camera that makes me look not dead. So I just never get around to it. I also like want to do something like musically with my boyfriend who's a musician, but again, just never have the wherewithal to actually go for it. So maybe I can figure something out one day.
I mean, don't knock your current camera quality. You're at
It's
least
not bad.
purgatory.
No, it's not bad at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, you're not dead.
I am working on two things, maybe sort of like three things. The first thing that I've been doing is really trying to beef up our LBBmedia website to actually have some real content on it for people to go and see. I think it's nearing a place where I'm happy with it. So I've been dedicating a lot of my time to just sitting in front of the computer, just like punching buttons and dragging things around with the mouse and trying to make it look nice. And then I think our next film will be a horror movie.
There's some excitement here.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
if it wasn't going to be one before, I think it is now.
I'm bringing the blood.
Gore slasher.
Nice.
Like makes a romantic comedy. Randy and I just show up with like a bucket of guts. We're like, we're ready.
Hate it when that happens. So that'll be available through the LBBmedia platform, or people can follow you on the socials to get updates.
We're all over the place. So we're on you could go to lbbmedia.org, and if you go there, you'll be able to find every possible way that you could want to communicate with us or follow with us. We even have a portion of the website if someone just wants to work with us, see if we need help with something, they can sign up on the website as well. We're on Instagram, LBBmedia, Twitter, YouTube. Just do a search for LBBmedia and you can see anything that we're working on there. Yeah, we're on Facebook, which I've just been using less and less, honestly.
It's a dying medium, I think.
Yeah,
it should be a dying medium. I hope it does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hope it dies. That's what I meant to say. There we go.
It's turned into a very interesting set of voices that like to be seen there. Yeah, I guess what our final takeaway can be, what was your personal favorite part of Trash? That can either be the finished product itself or working on it, just your personal favorite affiliation with it.
We had a fight scene that I thought was a lot of fun. I don't know if it really looks like a fight, but we've never really done anything like that before. So that was probably one of my favorites. And then right afterwards, I had like dirt poured all over me, and it was just it was a fun scene because you actually get to be serious for like a second in this insane and crazy film.
I don't want to give too much away because some people who are will be viewing this haven't seen the movie, but I have to say one of my favorite parts to film was probably the ending. That was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. We got to work with different people and got to use like some special makeup and special effects type of things, but that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. That was my favorite.
I think just the feeling of that was a very free time. I feel like I felt that I had a lot of freedom. I felt very independent during that time, not tons of responsibilities, and I think that really let us just do whatever we wanted when we wanted to do it, and that felt really nice. So I feel nostalgic for those times, I think, especially now. But that's just a nice feeling I get when I think of filming it. Not any one point in particular, just that feeling.
It was fun. There's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff on YouTube, I think, still, because I always had like one of those flip cams and would just narrate everything that was happening. For some reason, that was just what I wanted to do during that film because we were just having so much fun.
Yeah.
It was fun to work on. I was there for 1 day, but it was fun.
2 days because we called you back because we lost a tape.
Was it really 2 days?
I think so. Yeah, it had to have been because we had
just
you
a year apart from each other.
Yeah, it was a year apart from each other because we had you were the only one that played Jerry, so we had you do it the first time and then we lost it and we had to do it again. And you had to come back and
okay. I mean, would it be a film called Trash if it wasn't a little messy?
That's true. That kind of works out. Yeah.
Yeah, it let us get away with a lot.
It did, yeah.
That's awesome.
But I think when things mess up, that's when your creativity has to kind of come out. So that's interesting.
If anything, I'd say Trash in particular, it sounds like taught you guys about rolling with the punches and
yes, definitely,
and working under perhaps slightly restrained circumstances, but still making the best of it. Because I mean, how many people can say, "Yeah, I did a completed film," and here it is 10 years later, and we're releasing it to the world.
That is kind of cool.
It's exciting, and
10 years.
Yeah, and 10 years, and that we were able to, I think, brush it up a little bit, just make little perfection tweaks to it where we can, but I think it still it's what it was when we released it. So I'm really happy with it, and I can't wait for people to see it. And I'm dreading people seeing it.
Yeah.
I feel differently. Does anyone feel differently? I'm now 10 years later, I'm like, do I want people to see this?
Well, I'm not letting my niece watch it.
No.
No.
I don't know if I'll let my nephew watch it. Would you let a 14-year-old watch it?
My niece is 14. I'm not letting her watch it at all.
Okay, then I won't let my nephew watch it either, but I know him. He'll end up somehow seeing it.
Well, Topaz's kid, am I allowed to at least say that part? Like, I imagine he's...
Yeah, that's Mike's nephew.
Oh, yeah. I imagine he's also
like,
probably around 14 now.
Yeah, well, he's got to be like 11 or 12, right?
He's in the 7th grade now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope he does not watch it because I think we call him a freaky mutant baby.
Yeah.
I'm not a kids person. He is adorable and incredibly well behaved, at least from what we saw on film.
Yeah. Mike pranked him.
Yeah.
No.
He was a quiet kid. But remember, if my sister moved too far away from him, she was always right by him, and you could see him sometimes looking off because he'd start freaking out if like she wasn't in range. So she had to just stand there.
People touching me.
Yeah, and then we just got but we were able to film. He was a little bit older, which is why we wrote in a joke at the last minute, I think, because we filmed
Yeah.
him originally when he was young and he's sitting in that chair, and then in the very next scene, that
It's
was
like a
He's a
year
year
later.
older.
it was a year later.
No, I always like when things kind of wink or break the fourth wall. So
Yeah.
I'd say that I feel like that's an element of your comedy which has only gotten fine-tuned since. So
Yeah,
I
some things are so absurd you kind of have to call it out, or because if you just try to pretend that like there's not an elephant in the room, it's ridiculous.
there are elephants here.
There's not. I'm pretending that there is not.
Go, you were about to say something, Michael?
No, I was going to say, speaking of elephants, what's the creature behind you? Because it's reminding me of something very specific from my childhood.
So this is hilarious that I didn't even realize this was the background that I chose until I shipped it this way. That is an Andalite from Animorphs.
Animorphs.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's well, I knew what it was. Thank you.
I'm
okay.
outing myself as a nerd here.
Yeah.
I did not even
We're
realize
all nerds.
I spent the majority of the video.
You got to watch out for their tails.
Yeah.
I did not read Animorphs. It looks like an alien centaur to me.
So yeah, they're essentially a mix of humans and centaurs, and like they have the ability to. They are what? Spoiler alert! They are the race that give the human Animorph children the ability to turn into other animals. So.
I never even thought about, like, I knew what the books were about, like, because you see like the weird progression on the covers, but I never thought like they would explain. Thought I was just like, Katie turned into a bee yesterday. Okay, like
maybe if you picked up a book, Carrie. No, it was a very. I was obsessed. Clearly, still am to a lesser degree, and then I did find it hilarious a couple of years ago when the memes were taking off with like Adele turning into a literal Dell computer and yeah good times.
Yeah, I've seen memes of like, because J.K. Rowling obviously has come out as a huge like transphobe, and they were like, the creator of Animorphs would never, and I think the creator of Animorphs replied, they were like, they're right.
Yes, I would never.
never.
Yeah, K.A. Applegate is
Yeah.
a gem. I said great, Applegate. But she is great, so
yeah.
I suppose she is K.A. Applegate. Yeah, if you found that funny, you can find me on certain social media platforms. I am a starving artist extraordinaire. I have a website which is sorely in need of an upgrade, but KyleStephenPorter.com. I am a co-host of The Shade of It All, a RuCast pod race for RuPaul's Drag Race. It's a podcast where we cover RuPaul's Drag Race. We are a little behind because of this year and the obscene amount of Drag Race content that we got. But we'll be getting caught up soon, especially because we're getting even more obscene amounts of content next year. And yeah, I do art. I act on occasion, as can be seen in like 5 minutes of trash. I do all manner of things. I do some nonprofit work at conventions with the LGBTQIA plus community. I do a lot. So you can check me out. Shameless plug over.
Yay!
Instagram, I feel like, is the platform that I use most frequently. So I'm Kyle Danger, but the A is a 4 on there because whoever has Kyle Danger spelled properly won't fucking relinquish the account, and they never use it.
They're an asshole.
They are. But I am not. So, yeah. Where can we find y'all on socials?
Oh boy. If I was gonna be like, let me get my. I'm running things off LBBmedia, so anything that's coming out LBBmedia, it's me. And that's if you really want to know what I'm doing, just you go there, you'll see me there. I'm all over the place. So I'm LBBmedia on Instagram, Twitter, and we'll just start with that.
And OnlyFans.
And OnlyFans very soon. I am Sequined K on Instagram. I very rarely post, and when I do, it's inanimate objects usually, or me drinking, or sometimes bathroom signs. first.
Why not all three?
Yeah,
You
I
drinking
do
in an
drink in the bathroom. Yeah.
side.
Ooh, I like that. You should do a photo shoot drinking in the bathroom.
I will.
I
It'll
might
just be
join you with that.
nice. Yeah.
You can find me on Instagram. I'm Randi _Riot 6664. Sorry, I got all tongue tied over there.
Randy Riot 666 was obviously taken. So you
Yeah.
the 664.
Rude.
I tried.
Yeah, that person's an asshole.
Agreed.
There are assholes in
killed them. No, I'm just
2020. Impossible.
Mm.
Thank you all so much for chatting with me. Are there any parting thoughts or words for your illustrious fans?
Oh God, Randy and Carrie are the ones with the fans.
I don't have any fans.
He's got lots of fans. Don't listen to him.
I'd like to say on behalf of LBB Media, thank you for taking your very precious time. You're Kyle, you're a very talented individual that could be doing a billion other things other than talking to us. So we deeply appreciate you taking your valuable time to speak to us and ask us interesting questions. And I've had a really great time. This has been fun. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for dealing with us.
Yes,
Pretty
thank you.
It was so taxing. I
Yeah.
had a great time, and thank you so much for allowing me to conduct this.
Yes, thank you everyone for putting on a shirt and brushing our hair for the first
Yep.
time. And
We did
who
this
knows
for
how long.
you.
Exactly. I put a real bra on to do this interview, which I don't even remember the last time I wore a real bra. Maybe in 2019.
I mean, it was probably at least 2005 for me. So.
Yeah. This is coming off as soon as the tape
Yeah.
goes back on the front of the computer.
Again, thank you all so much, and I will see you on the interwebs.
Yay!
Thank you, Kyle.
Yes, thank you,
Bye,
Kyle.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Mwah.